tell you the reason behind our aging. You should know that human bodies aren't built for extreme aging, and so you will hardly see anybody alive more than 80 to 90 years. But then, what does aging really mean? Why do we get to see wrinkles and grey hairs taking a toll on our grandparents' body as they age? Well, aging occurs when intrinsic process and interaction in the environment like sunlight and toxins in the air, water and diet cause changes in the structure and functions of the body's molecules and cells. These changes drive their decline, which is the ultimate cause for the failure to the whole organism. Although there are no such exact mechanism as to why our bodies age, scientists have identified 9 physiological traits that play a central role for our aging. Epigenetic alterations, mitochondrial dysfunctions, deregulated nutrient sensing, cellular sensations, stem cell exhaustion, altered intercellular communication, telomere attrition, loss of proteostasis, and genomic stability. We are constantly under attack from our environment and our bodies accumulate damage over time. Damage affects the DNA, proteins, and fats in our body, which break down and weaken various components that we need to survive. One popular scientific hypothesis proposes that mitochondrial DNA plays a major role in aging. Not all of our DNA is found in our nucleus. Some are actually found in small organelles within cells called mitochondria. Scientists think these mitochondria have their own pool of DNA because they were once small free living creatures. It turns out that mitochondrial DNA gets mutations much faster than the DNA in the nucleus. Not only that, when mitochondria make energy for us, they create reactive oxygen species that can damage nearby mitochondrial DNA. The idea is that as mitochondrial DNA becomes more and more damaged, it fails to produce energy as well and becomes dysfunctional. This leads to aging and ultimately death. Telomere shortening is one well-known factor that leads to our cells losing the ability to divide. They are located at the very end of chromosomes, seen as bright dots, and are made up of DNA that is not used in our genome. When our cells divide, the DNA in the cells gets copied, but sometimes it misses some of the DNA on the end. This is where telomeres save the day, as a little bit of telomere gets cut off instead of our important DNA. However, after enough divisions, the telomeres get totally used up and stop protecting the important DNA. Along with losing our ability to divide properly, our immune system becomes less keen over time and loses the ability to decipher the difference between our cells and enemy cells. Why do our skin start to wrinkle when we grow old? Wrinkling is a very common symptom associated with aging. After the age of 25, we are able to produce 1% less collagen in the skin each year, which results in skin becoming more brittle over time. However, UV rays from the sun leads to 80% of skin wrinkling over time. We are only just starting to understand how important these changes are in aging and in making people more predisposed to develop disease. As we better understand these changes, we can begin to understand how they can be delayed through physical activity, better nutrition, and medication. But hey children, you still have a long way to go. With more such researches and studies, perhaps one day we will eventually get to understand why humans age in the way they do.